People Rasati out here in Singapore, and as always, thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. I love this podcast. I love getting up here and talking to myself in my room, looking like a lunatic, but I feel good about it because I get to hear my own thoughts out loud. It's kind of like my journal for the day, and I get to unwind with it, y'all. So it's late. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I am geeked up anyway because I have this bad habit of watching videos just before I go to bed. So I want to go to bed in that mindset that, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go attack the world. I'm going to attack my life. I'm going to attack all of my goals and get shit done. So I feel really good. I'm kind of geeked up, like I said. So I've been listening to E.T., the hip hop preacher, and he was talking about, you know what, winners win and losers lose. That makes me feel a little bit bad, a little bit. I feel like, a little attacked. I don't like saying that, people are either winners or losers. I think we have our days. We have days where we feel like a loser, and we have days where we're like, you know what, I'm gonna get it all done. And somehow we find a way to get it all done. But like he says, winners win and losers lose. And here I am trying to decide whether I'm a winner or a loser. But that means I gotta be completely, brutally honest with myself. Lately, I've had to really check myself in the mirror and be like, all right, are you really doing the things that are necessary? Are you being busy or are you being productive? Are you moving or are you taking action? What are you doing at the moment? And sometimes I find myself watching a movie with baby girl because I want to chill with her, and I'm justifying what I want to do because I want to watch the movie. I want to chill. I don't want to be working all the time. And even then, right, I'll be waiting for, the house to clear. My mom's off to work. My baby girl is off at school, and I got the house to myself. And I'm like, yeah, I could get a lot of work done. And then I scroll and swipe and answer tweets and am not being productive. So I got to be honest with myself. Sometimes I got to put myself on punishment. And that's what this whole daggone podcast is about. I got to put myself on punishment. This is the adulting that kind of kicks in for me. And I don't always appreciate it. I don't always enjoy it, but I got to put myself on punishment, which means I got to check what it is that I'm eating. Is it actually helping me, or am I going to be hungry again later? Am I eating properly, or am I snacking, which means I'm going to have more excuses to get up from my desk and go back to the kitchen to get something to eat, right? If I sit down and eat a proper meal, that means I will be full for a while and I can really concentrate on my work. If I eat too much, right? If I eat too much, I'm going to be sleepy as hell. And if I sit in a situation on the couch or at my desk for too long where I'm not really moving around and changing energy, I'm gonna fall asleep. So there is a delicate balance that I need to find, but that also means that I need to be aware and honest and then check myself before I get myself in trouble. So for those of you who know, I'm aiming for 1,000 podcasts by the end of the year, and I have been bad, I have been naughty, so I am putting myself on punishment now so I can get caught up. I know that the last minute is a magical, fantastical place where all things that needed to be done suddenly magically get done. And it's because I am putting myself on punishment. I know that there is a deadline. I have too much on my plate to be able to ignore it any further. And so the aggravation of this list of things I need to get done is what's fueling me. But I can't afford to do that all the time because that is a lot of energy that is expended in the last minute. I could have slowly done a little bit at a time every day if I had just gotten my schedule together, my discipline together. I would have done it and it wouldn't have been such a stress. But here I am rushing, struggling, pushing myself day in and day out, which means I work through the night sometimes. I work through the day sometimes. I am lucky if I get a nap. But the point being that I want to get this done, and so I'm not going to stop until I get it done. But like I said, the discipline could have helped me. I didn't have to wait until the last minute, obviously. But that also means that once I realized that, you know what, it's coming down to the finish line, I got to get some work done, I got to put myself on punishment. So in the long term, right, I can see myself being disciplined. I'm praying that I get there. I got to put in the work. So I can see myself being disciplined enough to be able to do multiple projects and actually get a lot of work done. Now, I've done this before for other companies, which means because I'm away from the house, and I have a dedicated space just to do the work, and no one can come in and bother me unless it's work related because I'm at work, right? I get a lot done. Even then, I remember when I was just starting out with this side hustle while I had a regular job, I know that in between what I was doing for the job, I would get some things done for my dream. I would put in a post. I would create something on the way to work. I remember compartmentalizing so well that the commute to work would be for me to consume some content and really digest it a little bit, and then I would be able to create a piece of content from what I understood. And then on the way home, I would go through and I would interact with people. So I had an hour to work and I had an hour from work where I was on public transport. I didn't have to drive, I didn't have to pay attention, and I would get all this stuff done. But now that I work from home, and I move from my bed to the couch, to the kitchen, to the couch, to the bed, I have to have next level type discipline. So as much as I want to motivate myself and as much as I want to get things done, I have to be in that mindset on a daily basis. And this year has been full of extra energy. I've had extra energy in the house. I've had extra energy on the phone. I've had friends reach out to me. I've had new clients, new colleagues, new projects, all kind of stuff happening. And I'm not saying that's an excuse because I am still an adult and I'm still running a business. But I will say this, it's gotten that much harder. I have been trying my best to be supportive of all the people who are really struggling throughout COVID. I'm trying to put out information and try to be available. I've been doing classes. In the beginning of the year, I did Monday night classes with my cousin out in Malaysia. So we did Q&A sessions and we picked a theme that we were going to talk about so people could come to us with questions specifically to that theme. And then eventually we stopped, right? Because she had a lot of pain she was going through. She underwent spinal surgery. And in the meantime, I kind of like let it drop. Instead of doing the classes by myself, I kind of put that to the side and try to focus elsewhere. So for me this year, the key word has been focus. And because I wasn't focused, I've had to put myself on punishment several times throughout the year. So as much as I could have gotten done, I found myself in the last minute marathon a lot. And that's not a good place to be. It's not the best way for me to expend energy. And I got to tell you, I don't enjoy it. I feel like I really am on punishment, like I'm really denying myself, which means when I come out of the punishment phase, I go into extravagant treat myself and really sleep and laze and not really do much of anything anyway. So it's a bad cycle to be in, and I need to find a way to regulate the energy so that I don't find myself rushing at the last minute. It also affects the quality of my content. I've had a couple of conversations with my best friend and he was like, you know what, if you go rush like this, you can't guarantee that the message that comes out of your mouth isn't going to be garbled because you're doing so many podcast episodes in a day that how do we know that you actually understand what it is that you're talking about? How do we know that you're just not winging it and trying to ramble your way through? The point being that when it comes to content, when I'm in the zone, when I start talking, I know what I'm talking about. I feel good about what I'm talking about. Sometimes it doesn't sound so good and I do scrap the entire podcast episode. Sometimes I'm able to go back and listen to what the hell I just said and re-record over the part that didn't make sense. But for the most part, he's right. I can't afford to do this if I'm going to put out quality content. And I'm also right. If I'm going to set a deadline and tell the whole world that I'm going to do it, then I need to get it done. So here I am on punishment at the moment, trying to focus and get some real good content recorded and published so I can meet this mile marker that I really, really, really want to hit by December 31st. But in the meantime, here it is. I try to make content. I don't manage my energy very well. And as much as I would like to say that I am good at what I do, there are parts of my business that I'm not so good at. So when push comes to shove and I know that I'm meeting a deadline or I'm rushing to get to that deadline, I need to become as disciplined as possible. Obviously, the smart thing to be would be disciplined all the time. But when I screw up, when I lose, and when I don't put in the work that I should put in the work, when I procrastinate and put things off, that means I got to do the opposite, right? I got to parent myself. I got to put myself on punishment until I get back on track and then hope that this is a lesson learned and I get work done in a consistent, timely manner going forward. So bear with me, you guys. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, but I want you to think about your own life. Where is it that you need to find extra added motivation to kind of punish yourself through some things because you could have done it the easy way, but you chose to put it off and now you got to do it the hard way. I know that I do it a lot more than I'd like to admit, but here I am telling you, I'm spilling my guts to you guys because I'm real. This is a real business. This is real life. And I struggle sometimes. Some days I got it and some days I just don't got it. So I don't benefit at all by telling you guys that I've got it together all the time. That's a damn lie. I'm here to tell you, hey, even me, after many, 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 many years of managing all kinds of schedules and timelines and lists and tasks, I still screw up. So when I do screw up, this is what I do. I put myself on punishment and try to get my act together. Once I get my act together, I try really hard not to have to procrastinate again because, yeah, I expended a lot of energy that I shouldn't have because of my own foolishness. So it's a lesson in progress. I am a work in progress, and I'm hoping that by December 31st, I will have a better game plan together so that I can really get some work done. You think 1,000 podcast episodes is amazing? Guess what? 2021, I'm ready to hit the ground running as soon as the starting gate opens and the gun goes off. Seriously, I'm not trying to mess around anymore. I know what I want. I know what I need to do. And now I got to put in the work. And that's a daily business affair, okay? I'm gonna lie. Some days I don't like it. Some days I wonder why in the hell I started this business in the first place. And some days I'm like, you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad I started. I'm glad I keep on going. I'm glad I have a plan for the future. So, yeah, let me get off of this so that I can get back to work and really make sure that I have everything covered for the end of this year. I love you guys. Bye.